Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified that Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ plus streaming news show. In 2025, our queer stories have reached 11 million streaming views, and Queer News Tonight has been the most watched LGBTQ plus news and lifestyle show in the world this year.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in the LGBTQ plus community. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight.
That's right, Dale Stine. It is Monday, September 15th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we'll tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Hotspots Happening Out is one of the largest LGBTQ plus nonprofit media companies in America, in the same model as PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ plus community.
We support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ community and want to inform and educate on the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture.
Our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ plus experience. Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 11,000 LGBTQ plus streaming stories. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride Fort Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fete. Our nonprofit 501c3 magazine, events, television, news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2025, more than 100 community leaders will host this show to support the LGBTQ plus community. Let's meet today's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table my friend, anchor Edward Otto Zielke, an accomplished brand influencer and marketing leader with a dynamic background in financial services and travel marketing. Edward currently serves as the Director of Marketing and Sponsorship for the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida, the famous Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida, right? He also serves on the Gala Chorus's Communications Committee. Edward, Chic and Unique Ball promises burlesque magic on November 1st. Tell me what's happening out.
The spotlight will shine on Saturday, November 1st, when the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida, GMCSF, will host its signature fall fundraiser, the Chic and Unique Ball Step Into Burlesque at Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Hollywood. The glamorous evening will begin with a VIP reception featuring performances by GMCSF's Artistic Director Gabe Salazar and award-winning singer-songwriter Matt Alber. Guests can then step onto the red carpet and enjoy cocktails, a 3-course dinner, and a spirited live auction hosted by Whitney Dutton. The chorus will headline the main program with a dazzling performance celebrating artistry and community. The evening will honor the Bears of South Florida with the Douglas Jackson Pugh Community Leadership Award and Can Community Health with the Corporate Crescendo Award. Chaired by Eric Eldridge, the ball will conclude with a poolside after-party at the iconic Guitar Hotel. GMCSF is one of the largest gay men's choruses in the southeastern United States and one of the top 10 LGBTQ plus choruses in the country. More details about the fundraiser will be available at GMCSF and thechicanduniqueball.com. This is going to be such an amazing event. I cannot wait. We have been working on this ball, when I tell you, since probably last year.
Since the day after your last ball.
Probably, yes. I mean, we were so hyped up from the last one. It's just so wonderful. And to have like sponsors that are going to be giving away live auction items like the Brand G Vacations is giving away a gift, as well as Impact Encounters is also doing.
Impact Dooney.
Yes.
Dooney, we love Dooney.
Yeah,
Dooney, love you.
We're doing a live auction trip to Iceland with them, so it's going to be fantastic.
Dooney told me about that too.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
You know, Edward, your organization is amazing because you're always upping the ante and creating something new and fresh and exciting. And I think that's just fantastic.
Well, I was blessed enough to go to your last ball, and I was blown away by the silent auction, by the food, by everything. And now this time you have an after party. I mean, that's dope sauce, right? Because people don't want to go home. They're like in the spirit. They want to party some more.
And we're so happy that we're going to have you on the red
Yes!
carpet.
Yes!
You're going to be interviewing everybody that comes in there.
Well, and now with a purpose.
Fantastic, yes.
Because the last time I was doing that for myself, I was like, hi, can I record you real quick? And now I get to do it for you, which is fantastic. I'm honored and blessed to be on your red carpet.
Do you have your outfit ready? Do you know what you're wearing yet? Burlesque. It's a big.
I know. It's a lot to think about.
What do you think? What are you wearing?
You know, I've been thinking about that for quite a while. My boyfriend and I just moved in together, so I've been kind of going through his clothes a little bit. I'm kind of like, this is kind of a little burlesque-y. So, you know, I'm still deciding. What?
You should go at Zeta Fontees.
Ooh, I love that. Well, that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at the Chic and Unique Ball Burlesque on November 1st. Let's welcome Dino Mosquera, my Venezuelan brother. He joined the Miami Gay and Lesbian Film Festival in the late 90s and now serves on the Outshine Film Festival's board of directors. Dino, Outshine LGBTQ Plus Film Festival to present Plainclothes at Cocktails and Cinema on September 25th. Tell me what's happening out.
Yes, the Outshine LGBTQ Plus Film Festival will spotlight Carmen Emmy's award-winning debut, Plainclothes, as part of this Cocktails and Cinema program on Thursday, September 25th at 7:30 p.m. at O Cinema, South Beach. Audiences will gather to experience this gripping Sundance favorite starring Tom Blythe and Russell Tovey. Set in 1990 Syracuse, New York, the film follows undercover officer Lucas Blythe, who is tasked with luring and arresting gay men in a mall bathroom. When he meets Andrew Toby, what begins as a calculated sting operation transforms into a dangerous, passionate entanglement. As Lucas balances duty, secrecy, and forbidden love, the story builds towards a high-stakes New Year's Eve climax. Plainclothes received the U.S. Dramatic Special Jury Award for Ensemble Cast at the Sundance Film Festival earlier this year, marking Emmy as the director to watch. Festival goers will enjoy a night of cinema, conversation, and community. Outshine Film Festival is South Florida's premier showcase for LGBTQ plus film, producing 2 annual large-scale festivals in South Florida. And for more details are available at outshinefilm.com. I'm so happy we're having this film. We are getting great films for this series, the Cocktails and Cinema. We recently showed Twinless, which just came out in theaters, and Plainclothes. Plainclothes is a fantastic film. It got great reviews at Sundance this year. And Russell Tovey, that we all know.
Well, we love, especially with those ears. Hello.
Where was he in? What was he in before?
He was in Looking. He was in Looking.
Ah,
Came out of Looking.
Okay,
yeah.
got it. But I love the premise. Think about it, right? The guy is working in plain clothes, hence the name, right?
Yeah.
He lures this guy into a bathroom and then falls in love and gets like all passionate with him. I'm all about it.
He does it. You see it in the film. That's what the kid does normally, and then he runs into this guy, and then there is connection, sparks, the whole thing. And I mean, they're super hot, both of them. And Russell Tovey, I mean, he's getting great reviews for this role. So after Looking, that was how long ago? Looking was more than a while back in HBO. And so I mean, I saw him once in The Gathering. Russell Tovey is hot.
Well, he's been an out actor for a long time. Years now.
He was filming here in South Florida, and he came to The Gathering one night. Even his ear, which are a little funny.
They're big. They're so hot.
But they are cute.
Hello. Hello.
Tell me more.
Tell me more.
Handled,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, we look forward to seeing everybody at Cocktails and Cinema. I love this. Plainclothes seems like a movie that is up everybody's alley. Like we've all dreamt about that. You know what I mean? Well, that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at the Plainclothes debut at Cocktails and Cinema on September 25th. I love this next anchor. He is my family. Let's welcome back to the table anchor Dale Stine. A celebrated photographer in the LGBTQ plus community, he is the director of music ministry at the world famous Unity on the Bay and moderator of Miami Gay List. Welcome back, Dale. How are you, baby?
It's so great to see you, my wonderful sister. I love you so much.
I love you.
Yeah.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She is legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspots Happening Out's The FayWhat Show. Faye drags superstars to cast a spell at Gray Box Theater on October 16th. Tell me what's happening out.
I'm so excited about this. So South Florida audiences will soon be swept into a world of witchcraft, camp, and comedy when Hocus Pocus, the original tribute show, takes the stage on Thursday, October 16th. Produced by Drag Events Unlimited, the production will run from 8:30 to 10:15 p.m. at the Gray Box Theater. Hello to Gray Box. I'm so excited that they are part of our community now. With doors opening at 7:45 p.m. sharp, all right? The show will feature South Florida superstar drag queens transforming into uncanny lookalikes of the Sanderson sisters. I mean, they look just like them, recreating the Halloween classic that has enchanted generations and that all of us queer people just love. This tribute will also include a special Nightmare Before Christmas pre-show. Guests will be required to arrive at least 30 minutes early, as no late entries will be permitted. A full bar will be available, of course, throughout the night. Drag Events Unlimited is the producer of South Florida's top 5 drag shows. More details about the event at dragevents.biz. And I am one that I can't wait. I love this. This is campy. This is fun. This is like, we're the ones who make movies like this, cult classics, and then to see our own community put it on stage with their zeal and their own special twist. Like, I'm there for it.
It's so something. It's so Faye. That's so FayWhat. I love it. Yeah.
I love Halloween. I love when people get to dress up and stuff. And I love that this movie, Hocus Pocus, has taken on like a gay, following. You seeing so many drag performers and gay icons doing this on tours and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic. So why not have it here in Wilton?
But if I remember correctly, Hocus Pocus, when it came out, it wasn't this.
It was a bomb.
It was a bomb.
It was a bomb. If you asked Sarah Jessica Parker, right? Because she was in it also. You ask her, that's one of the movies that she was like, oh, I probably should have thought twice about making it. But then it's been reprised, redone. It's been, copying, right, is the biggest form of flattery. And everybody does Hocus Pocus,
Yeah.
But these, our South Florida girls do it extra special. I personally think they do a better job of it. So, and Gray Box, thank you, Gray Box, for opening another wonderful venue to see more gay things. Right?
Yes, and local productions. Yeah, local production. We need to promote our local talent.
Yes.
So
this is the new Gray Box that's opening up next month, right?
Yes.
Over in Wilton Manor?
The one next to Wilton, not far from Wilton Collective, and they've already got a couple of things lined up already on their fall calendar, including the original guys from Rent. They are coming to
Adam
a show
Rao.
as well.
And
that
concert,
for World AIDS Day, and that's just one of the many. Thank
Anthony
you.
Rabb.
So it's in that same complex where the collective is?
Yes. Gray Box is the new place to be. Can Community is one of their biggest sponsors, and they are doing the damn thing. So I'm excited about it.
Fabulous. Well, that is the big LGBTQ plus story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing. And Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Hocus Pocus at Gray Box Theater on October 16th.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up gay culture. Charlie Sheen first public comments on gay experience as whether he was the top or bottom and HIV positive, excuse me. This weekend, Bill Maher talked to Charlie Sheen on his first live comments about his sexual experiences with men. They talked about the new documentary where, for the first time, Charlie Sheen is openly discussing his past sexual relationships with men. The 60-year-old actor, best known for 2.5 Men, is sharing details in a new Netflix documentary. Charlie, and in his upcoming memoir, The Book of Sheen, Sheen said in the documentary, quote, liberating. It's fucking liberating to just talk about stuff. It's like a train didn't come through the side of the restaurant. A fucking piano didn't fall out of the sky. No one ran into the room and shot me, end quote. Speaking to People for this week's cover story, Sheen said that after years of being with women, he decided to explore. On Good Morning America, Sheen admitted his sexual experimentation with men began during his years using crack. Quote, that's what started it. Some of it was weird and a lot of it was fucking fun, end quote. Sheen also revisited his HIV diagnosis, which he revealed publicly in 2015 after years of secrecy and blackmail. He told people, quote, "I do know for a fact that I never passed it on," end quote. His past, however, remains complicated. In 2020, Corey Feldman alleged that in a film, My Truth, The Rape of Two Coreys, that the late Corey Aim once described being abused by Sheen as a child star. Sheen has firmly denied those allegations, calling them, quote, "sick, twisted, and outlandish," and urging people to consider Judy Hames' defense of him. Now Sheen says the documentary and memoir let him finally share his story. As for romance, the actor describes his love life today as, quote, "uneventful as it possibly could be," end quote. Still, he adds with a smile, he's, quote, "open to love again, probably not marriage though," end quote. This weekend, Sheen had a hilarious interview on Bill Maher's Real Time show on HBO discussing whether he was a top or a bottom and his experimentation that may have led to HIV, which Maher called AIDS, and Sheen corrected him as HIV. You know, I watched the documentary, and it was hard to see like the train wreck that he is, right? It's a little triggering as because of my past drug and alcohol issues, but this seems like the next chapter for Charlie Sheen, right? Let me write a book. Let me do a documentary. Let me get some money. I mean, he's 60 years old and probably the luckiest man on earth. Every time he hits a bottom, something wonderful happens for him, like getting all these extraordinary shows, you know? I forgot that he was married to Denise
Richards.
That's right,
who is also in the documentary. You know what I mean? Corey Aim saying that, unfortunately, he was abused by him, but his mom stands by Charlie Sheen saying that he didn't. I mean, like, so much stuff coming up from this memoir. Like, it's a little uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, cats should have, he has more lives than cats, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, because he's really been down and out. And you're about a great time, though. I mean, he's 16, like, letting it all out, you know?
Yeah.
And just because he has, what does he have really to lose? He only has to gain at this point, because like you see, he's gained a lot over the years.
Yeah.
Very fortunately
I think
for him.
that's the freedom you get when you get sobriety. As someone also who is sober himself, going to be 14 years in November, you tell a lot of stories in your head, especially when you're using and stuff. At least I did. And, you know, when you get rid of all that stuff, everything comes pretty clear for you. And like you realize all of the dramatization you had about your life and things in your life, it really doesn't matter a hill of beans. So there's a freedom that comes with that. At least it did for me. And so I was just kind of like, yeah, I did that. So what? You know, it was kind of like, yes, this is part of my story, but it doesn't define who I am.
But it doesn't
today.
define who I am. What do you think, Dino, about him talking about sleeping with men and that, you know, and kind of blaming it on the crack? You know what I mean? That was a little uncomfortable for me. What do you think?
I think it's, I mean, I'm glad that he's sober, and, you know, don't get me wrong. I think it's great that he's worked through this.
Maybe he's sober.
Maybe he's sober, but he's always seemed to get rewarded for, you know, the whole, you know, he was the best paid actor on TV back when 2.5 Men, which I love. I love that show. Okay.
Ashton Kutcher was just not it. You know, after when he filled in, it just wasn't.
It wasn't, and he was messed up back then, and somehow nothing touched him. You know, he was getting paid so much money. John Cryer was getting paid a
third of what he was
making. And somehow he survived. And to me, he's kind of like the best example of a nepo baby, a nepo baby.
Well, the whole family is Hollywood,
And, you know, he's the son of Martin Sheen.
Yeah, the whole family.
For many years, Martin Sheen was out there advocating for people that had addiction issues. I mean, the whole family was. That's why they're not in the documentary. They were like, F you, allá tú, you do you, I'm done.
They're not supporting him through the promotion of the documentary, which is very telling. So
100%. Like, they're done. Again, I'm an addict, okay? I have burned some bridges. When I made amends with some people, a lot of people were like, thank God you stopped drinking. But there were others like, I don't ever want to see you again, and I hope you fall down some stairs. And I had to be okay with that. You know what I mean? Like, I ruined this person's life. I can only imagine. And that's me on a very small little FayWhat scale. Can you imagine FayWhat with some money and, like, you know, Charlie Sheen status? I mean, he probably messed up half of California, you know?
Yeah.
You were talking off camera about the guy from Friends.
Yeah, Matthew Perry. He wasn't that lucky.
No.
You see? I mean, also, you know, a lot of privilege for him, too. But
also a lot of enabling. There's so much enabling
well,
because
and so did Charlie.
That's what I mean.
Exactly.
That's my
There's
point.
always
That's my point.
Yeah.
They're both
Charlie.
because they have the money and they have the status and the privilege. So there's enabling.
Look, it's unfortunate when you first get sober, and Edward can attest to this, right? They tell you, oh, you only have to change one thing, everything. Right? That's what they tell you. And unfortunately, it's usually, you know, people, places, and things that you have to stay away from for a certain amount of time. And when you have that much money, you have people around you that you're paying. So they're paid to enable you.
Addiction does not discriminate. You know, it doesn't matter who you are in this world, because once it catches you, that's it. And it doesn't matter how much means you have. You will go to any length to get it. So
he was getting blackmailed too from all these men that were sleeping with him were blackmailing him. He had the money to pay them off. So eventually he came out of that because he said, I can't pay anymore. I wasn't going to face this anymore. And that's why he
Money
revealed.
makes it more complicated.
Well, there were also people that were suing him because of supposedly not revealing his HIV status.
His HIV status, exactly right.
You know, so
more to come with this. And he said that he knew for a fact that he had not.
Oh yeah,
how would you know that?
How would you know in a crack state? Really?
Right.
I mean, I would wake up and be like, "Who are you?
Let me just get.
Who are you?
Let me just get on this pipe
like,
for longer.
Why am I naked and who are you?" Like, that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm Edward Otto Zielke, and let's queer up entertainment. History made as Hallmark Channel airs network's first ever gay wedding movie. Hallmark Channel is stepping up into history and into our hearts with the premiere of The Groomsmen, Second Chances, the network's first ever gay wedding story. The film stars Mean Girls favorite Jonathan Bennett as Danny, a man who finally finds the courage to admit his love for his best friend, just as he's asked to be the best man at that friend's wedding in Greece. Second Chances is part of the Groomsmen trilogy, which originally premiered on Hallmark Plus in 2024 and went on to win a GLAAD Media Award for Outstanding Film in the Streaming or TV category. Now, all three films, also starring Tyler Hynes and BJ Britt, are airing on Hallmark Channel, with Second Chances, which made its broadcast debut Saturday night at 8 p.m. Jonathan Bennett, who also served as executive producer, marked the moment with an emotional Instagram post this week. He wrote, quote, "Our GLAAD award-winning movie is coming to TV this Saturday. We are proud that this movie is the first gay wedding movie in Hallmark history. But we are even more proud to be part of creating a space where everyone can feel seen," end quote. It is a landmark moment for LGBTQ plus storytelling on television, and a reminder that yes, love is really for everyone. You can catch The Groomsmen, Second Chances on Hallmark Channel or streaming anytime on Hallmark Plus.
Premiering Saturday, September 13th.
Shouldn't you two be dating by now?
We are complete opposites. You're funny, he's smart.
The bromance continues.
We're getting married. Will you be my best man?
He and Nolan aren't exactly compatible.
It's the next chapter in the Groomsmen trilogy.
You must be the two boys getting married.
What if he doesn't have feelings for me, huh?
What if he does?
The Groomsmen, Second Chances, Part 2 of the trilogy, premieres Saturday, September 13th at 8 on Hallmark Channel and streaming on
Hallmark Channel. You know, I couldn't get that name right because I couldn't believe that we actually have some gay storytelling on there. You know, I think my old aunt sit and watch the Hallmark Channel when I go back to New Jersey, and I'm always like rolling my eyes. I'm like, oh, really? But now we get to see some, you know, storytelling of our own on there. Fantastic.
Yeah, no, I love this. And I was also taken aback when I saw Hallmark too, because I was just like, really? For real? Like, this is the Christmas in July channel, right? You know what I mean?
the whitest channel in America.
The snowy white. Snowy white. Yeah. So I love this. And I mean, again, something like this really does happen in our circle. So the fact that movies are based on stuff like this is awesome. I mean, we want to see ourselves on film, and we don't get the chance to unless we go to Outshine. You know what I mean? Like.
And in everyday, you know, normal, quote unquote, normal situations that are just typical of every person.
Because we're normal,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? The right thinks that we're like these weird aliens, you know what I mean? Like when I was on a radio, a Spanish radio morning show, very difficult in New York City, right? And just to tell people that, like, you know, I get mad at my wife when she doesn't take out the trash, right? Just like a regular couple was like mind-boggling to some people, you know what I mean? They just thought we did straight orgies all day long. That is just it, you know? So to see us on TV in this fashion, you know, in a beautiful put together way, like it makes me smile.
No, and they finding, I mean, Jonathan Bennett is pretty cute, and Luke McFarlane, right? Who's the other one? Those two are the poster boy of Hallmark Channel. Shows that, you know, there is an industry, there is a possibility for actors, even though they're always white. Yeah. You know, to do.
But
gay,
it's something, right? Because they're openly gay. You said that they were out, right? So if that is a hurdle to cross. You know what I mean?
And the guy that is in the movie with him, he was on the. Did you see All from the Side last year on the film festival about gay rugby from?
Oh yeah.
He was in that film. Yeah.
I love it. Gay people getting gigs. I love it.
Yeah.
And that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Dino Mosquera, and let's queer up politics. Utah governor confirms Charlie Kirk shooting suspect lived with trans partner. Utah Republican Governor Spencer Cox confirmed Sunday that the 22-year-old man accused of killing far-right commentator Charlie Kirk was living with his transgender partner. During an interview on CNN's State of the Union with Dana Bash, Cox said suspect Tyler Robinson was romantically involved with his roommate, a trans woman. He said, quote, "Yes, I can confirm that. I know that he has been reported and that the FBI has confirmed that as well, that the roommate was a romantic partner, a male transitioning to female," end of quote. The governor stressed that Robinson's partner had no role in the crime and is incredibly cooperative. I had no idea that this was happening and is working with investigators right now, end of quote. Cox urged caution when speculating about Robinson's motive. He said, quote, "I know everybody wants to know exactly why I'm pointing the finger, and I totally get that. I do too, and so I just want to be careful as I haven't read all of the interview transcript, and so we'll have to wait and see what comes out," end of quote. That did not stop the ultra-right-wing social media world from exploding on trans community. Charges against Robinson are expected on Tuesday. Earlier in the week, the Wall Street Journal retracted a report that falsely claimed transgender ideology was engraved on shell casings from the crime scene. Instead, Cox said the inscriptions reference an anti-fascist Italian song and the internet memes. In the aftermath of Kirk's death, right-wing voices quickly blamed transgender people. Donald Trump Jr. even claimed that trans people were, quote, worse than terrorists, end of quote. But research shows trans people are far more likely to be victims of violence than perpetrators. And despite the political scapegoating, they account for less than 1% of mass shootings in the U.S. Here we have, you know, these people are so willing to find some little angle in the, you know, the right wings to, you know, to point out that this was, and this happens to be a white kid from a Republican family, gun owners, gun nuts. I mean, the whole shebang. But just because he lived with a transgender person, well, even if he had feelings with a transgender person, he got, until he proved, you know, has nothing to do with this. And the president of the United States just come out and just blur it out without proof, without nothing. And just, there was something about the casing says, I think it was TRN or something like that. And they misinterpreted that as a trans and that he was sending a message with the
they were totally
bullets. It's ridiculous. It's irresponsible. And let's talk about reconciliation. I mean, this is the first thing that comes out of the president of the United States. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, the same way. So divisive.
And the Vice President, all of them. They're all saying it's left wing, and just
and blaming the whole community. They're blaming the whole entire community.
Can we just remember that like January 6th? Hello. Yeah. And the Minnesota, the Minnesota representative who was just shot.
Right. Melissa Hortman.
I mean, these are. Thank you, Melissa Hortman. And so it's so mind-boggling and it's so frustrating, and you think, well, what can we do when they have such a hold on the narrative?
Yeah.
It's so frustrating.
Like, we're always afraid when there's anybody from our community involved in something like that.
Like, oh no, you're right. Don't breathe.
Right?
Breathe.
It's like,
oh, please don't.
You know, like, please don't be. You know what I mean? Here's the truth: that trans people are way more likely to be the victims of violence than the ones actually pulling triggers. All right. So Donald Jr. can call us worse than terrorists, but facts don't lie. Hate does. Less than 1% of folks that have even committed such a harsh, awful crime have been trans or LGBTQ. And they're usually white, cisgendered men, like 88%. Something crazy like that. But they're not even talking about
Well, they don't care about facts. They don't care about facts.
I mean,
facts mean nothing. They're trying to rewrite the facts of the narrative. Not trying to, they are rewriting the facts.
They're canonizing this guy. They're basically canonizing this guy. The media is making it out to be.
He's a martyr.
Like he's a martyr.
Yeah. I mean, I never expected to be completely honest, folks, I had no idea who this man was a week ago. Okay, to me, he was just another maggot screaming his stuff about Trump. I did not know who he was, and now it's causing me to delete friends on my feed. How did we get here? You know what I mean?
I mean, we know that violence is not the answer, period, full stop. Period, 100%. Full stop.
Right.
But this was not a saint by any means, or an angel.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it's just such a...
This is just spreading false information and just attacking, the LGBTQ plus community, and just looking for any type of an excuse to really just, basically, I think that we are just at a really crossroads here with all of this, it's just really frightening.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you don't even know if you're getting the right story for some people.
For any of it.
For any of it. And like, it's just mind-boggling that this is where we are in a country.
And it's moving people around the world. This weekend they had protests in the UK protecting basically the freedom of speech and all that. This is basically the
but the UK is a mess too. We're going to talk about UK. The UK is a mess too.
Well, and they were
and they started it all, colonizers.
They were chanting Charlie Kirk, and in Japan and places like this where he's becoming the symbol of the extreme right. What the?
No, that is effing.
Yeah, and this is the time that we need the leaders to be lowering the temperature, and that is not happening.
No.
And that's what's so alarming.
It's getting scary.
Well, that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.
Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm Dale Stine, and let's queer up the worldview. New study reveals that 85% of world elections are anti-LGBTQ talking points, based on anti-LGBTQ talking points. More than 1.5 billion people cast ballots across at least 89 countries during 2024, a year now dubbed the super election year. But a new report from Outright International warns that political campaigns came at a heavy price for LGBTQ plus communities worldwide. A record 85% of jurisdictions studied, 51 out of 61 candidates leaned into anti-LGBTQ rhetoric to rally votes. That included attacking so-called gender ideology, calling queer people foreign agents, and scapegoating LGBTQ plus lives to distract from failed policies. Neela Ghoshal, Senior Director of Law Policy and Research at Outright International, said, quote, "The findings are a chilling indictment of the state of global democracy. Anti-LGBTQ rhetoric is no longer a fringe issue. It is a central tool in the modern authoritarian playbook. When politicians attack their own citizens to win power, democracy itself is at risk," end quote. The report found that the world's 5 largest democracies, India, the European Union, the United States, Indonesia, and Brazil, all saw queer communities targeted. In the U.S., Donald Trump's campaign spent over $212 million on anti-trans ads, aired most heavily during college sports games in battleground states. Activists point out this decision was made to target largely young straight men. Democrats weren't blameless either, with some members blaming their losses on support for trans rights, despite surveys showing voters weren't prioritizing those issues. Similar stories emerged elsewhere. In the UK, far-right Reform UK pledged to ban transgender ideology in schools. In Canada, conservative leaders promised to bar trans students from facilities matching their gender identity, while in New Brunswick, campaigns targeted chosen name and pronoun rights. And yet, the backlash sparked resilience. LGBTQ+ people around the globe refused to be silenced. In Bangladesh, queer communities played a pivotal role in the July Revolution, a student-led uprising that ousted the long-serving prime minister. In Turkey, activists marched for pride despite bans and police violence. As Outright's report concludes, quote, queer communities immobilized not just for their own rights, but in solidarity with all marginalized groups, understanding that their fates were intertwined with the health of democracy itself, end quote. Wow, this is just a big reminder that we are undergoing a global attack by the far right.
Yeah.
And it just becomes more alarming by the day and by the minute and by the hour. And we really have to, and I find that I was having a conversation with a dear friend at lunch, and we were saying, where are our big gay organizations? I don't know if I want to call them all out, but there are a lot of big organizations that we know, national organizations. Where are they? I'm not seeing a lot of messaging and a lot of standing up. Is it fear of being
Of course it is.
a backlash?
It's got to be, Dale. It's got to be. You know, like I stream, right? I don't have like regular cable like
Same
most
here.
people,
Yeah, yeah.
like most people, right? So I got an antenna because with an antenna, old school, you can still get your basic channels, right? And on your basic channels through the antenna, all the commercials are freaking Kristi Noem. All of them are her, ICE. If you,
the puppy murder.
If you present the puppy murder, if you present yourself, we'll give you a free ride home and all this kind. Maybe you'll be able to come back later. That's the effing commercial that keeps on popping up. Where are our commercials? Where are our commercials saying, "Hey, we're still here. Stand up. We're all here with you. We're in this together." Whatever that is, you know what I mean? There should be something like
There's
that.
no message, nothing.
Because all of this that you just read, that's not campaigning. That's scapegoating. Okay, that's basically it, right? Because politicians can't fix the economy, so let's just say that the gays are the reason that everything is going to shit.
What is concerning to me is that this message from the extreme right is actually working so well that even on the left, some people are distancing themselves from particularly the trans community. You see it with Gavin Newsom, even with Pete Buttigieg. And now even the UK right now, the UK, which is led now by the left, the Labour, Keir Starmer. And he's talking about, also basically punishing the trans community in the UK, which is, is very surprising to me.
Really? I don't think it's that surprising.
No, that this is actually happening with left-leaning governments in advanced, very liberal countries like the UK, and this is it's working. The message is working globally because Donald Trump. This is all started with Donald Trump, and now people feel the freedom to
be assholes.
Openly be assholes. Pretty much, exactly. So.
I'm sorry to say it that way, but you know what I mean? When your president is a certain way, then that opens the door to allow you to be misogynist, to be, to racist. Hate women, to be racist, to be homophobic, to be transphobic. It opens that. Like, it doesn't even give a person the reason, well, let me find out about them. Why? Maybe I need to educate myself on this. That's gone out the window now with someone as Donald J. Trump as the president,
Right.
Well, that is the big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight. Those are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight. These anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ plus community.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines.
We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, FayWhat! And on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the incredible anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Otto Zielke, Dino Mosquera, and Dale Stine. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. to our LGBTQ plus world. We hope that you will join us by embracing love, generosity, bravery, by being transformative, and, of course, being queer. Good night.